Super shot, full commitment. Just got to be a little bit careful with the positional side of the shot. Not quite straightforward to get onto those two reds in the middle of the table. So we may try another route. Well, he's leaving this one down to the left corner. These always seem a bit tricky, but
7.
no, it's not much thought. That was the one he was going to leave. If he gets it right, he should take the opening frame.
Eight. $50. $16.
Frame safe for Chris Small now, so he'll be hoping to try and clear the colours here just to get himself into full flow.
$24.
Well, more than enough to win the frame, and of the two players, Chris Small looks the more determined and comprehensively and easily takes the opening frame.
And Chris Small went on to take the second fairly comfortably as well, 71-25. So a good start for the Scot. 2-0 in front. Here's frame 3. It's John Parrott to play early on. No score yet.
That was a bit of a slip up from Chris Small to leave that on. And this next shot, if it works, will open all the reds up, or quite a few of them.
$9.
Yes, but this next one is the important one. Now he's got the reds open. Important he knocks the blue in.
Blue.
And then there's plenty of reds available.
$40. $50. $80. $90. 22.
As John managed to find the only spot that he can't get to a potting angle. This is quite tight. I'm not sure he can see enough of that red. The one that's just above the white is a risky one up into the left corner.
John Parrott, 22.
And another unforced error. Badly misjudged the potting angle. Played it as a shot to nothing, and well, there's choices for John Parrott here. Right middle. Not sure whether anything will go to the right corner though.
One. Eight.
Got the red that's near the left center, but it looks very straight, so can't do a great deal with the cue ball. It's about the best
9.
he could manage. He's got to go in and out of the balk area and avoid the green and brown to get back up to the reds. Played it well.
14.
But just at the moment, everything's just a few inches away of being perfect for John. He's having to work hard to get into a good position.
And that's about the best shot John's played this afternoon. That could so easily have gone wrong. Now more purpose in his play. He's going around the
22.
table. Hungry for pots. And,
23.
well, he should win the frame.
30. 38. $39.
And he's the wrong side of the blue, and he needs one more red. $66 the difference now. And as you can see, still a possible 67, but the nudge in the brown
44.
has worked in John's favour.
45.
This is exactly the start that he had in his first match against Terry Murphy. Lost the first 2 frames.
51. 52.
And this is the way John Parrott likes to play, but
58.
his opponent this afternoon, Chris Small, is going to make it tough for him.
59.
Easily the highest
66.
break, the first time any break has gone above 30 this afternoon. And a much more fluid and
66.
confident looking John Parrott makes a 66 break to open his scoring account, but he still trails 2-1 to Chris Small.
Yes, nice 66 break. That will help John Parrott to feel a good deal better. 2-1 in that, the first of the second round match. Long way to go. There are 3 sessions there. And we'll be back with that later in the afternoon, depending, of course, on events in the first round match we've been following between Stephen Lee and John Lardner. Stephen Lee, the Grand Prix champion.
Yeah, if he takes the red that's nearest the cue ball, that would clear the path, the black, into the right corner pocket also. Initially, he was going to get down and pot the red that's just above the black. Just got to be a little bit careful now when putting the cannon onto the red. He has to do that.
$21. 22. 27. 28. 35. 36. 43.
Well, these have nearly developed into a frame-winning situation for John Parrott. I reckon he got another kick there, but anyway, it's come off the red, and he's still on the black. And just 3 or 4 pots away from leveling the score again.
Yes, Ray, and the standard in this match is really picking up. First 2 frames were a little bit scrappy, but John's had breaks of 66, 71, and this contribution. And in the middle of all that, Chris Small had a 67 break in the previous frame, so pretty solid stuff.
$59. 60. $65. 66.
Good shot from John. May have been able to get that red to the middle, but it's much easier if you can free it and play for the corner.
74. $80.
Oh, yes, a big groan from the crowd. They were looking for that fair century of this match, but pretty impressive from John Parrott to level at 3 frames each.
And that put John Parrott in front for the first time, but back came Chris Small in the last frame of the session to level the match at 4-all. The first of their 3 sessions, remember, best of 25 in the second round. And just before we leave you, we can give you a chance to enter.
Parrott on 7. If you were watching earlier, it was Parrott who took that next one to go 8-9, but eventually Small restoring that gap 10-9. Chris Small leading John Parrott 10-9 in the session that will produce a winner and a quarter-finalist. Frame 20, and John Parrott's in real trouble. 54-0 down. It's Jim Meadowcroft and Willie Thorne commentating for us.
One. $8.
It was a bad positional shot from John, from black to red. He's going to need another good shot now from the black to the red at the right of the pink. That's a brilliant shot. That was a real pressure shot. If you missed that, the frame was
16.
over. Very, very good from just under the cushion, John Parrott, straight into the heart of the pocket.
70.
That's better.
23. 24.
Now needs to leave an angle
30.
at which to pot the black next and then split those two reds and bring them into play.
31.
Appears to have got that angle just right, and if he's going to play the cannon, he wants to hit the one on the right of the two first, not the one on the left, because the double kiss could come into operation and leave them levelled up, these two reds. Yes, good pot. I think the black's going to go on the spot, and he played the shot perfectly. Just flicked the other red,
38.
but look where that red's going, straight onto the black spot, or near the black spot, and cause him a problem. Back into the frame. This is tough. Well, that's the best shot John Parrott played this evening.
Well, it doesn't want to be straight. Just a slight angle.
46.
And he can manoeuvre that cue ball out away from the side and top cushion. Just 8 points the difference in favour of Chris Small. Oh, this is perfect. Yellow ball just off its own spot.
Wow, what an excellent reply this has been. Break of 54 by Chris Small, 54 so far by John Parrott. And now if he gets on the green,
56.
he'd have done his job this session. He came into the session 9-7 behind. If he can go on to win the frame, he's won this session 3-1 to level at 10-10.
$59.
Just the blue will make the frame safe.
68.
So this has been quite a remarkable frame.
Come on!
In goes the pink net, and John Parrott levels the match yet again, 10 frames all.
Tremendous performance there by John Parrott. The break of 74 is second best of the match. He did have an 80 in the first session yesterday. My goodness, that seems a long time ago now. Anyway, they're now down here at that score of 10 frames all. Parrott on 11 points, Small on 3, and it really is punch for punch. Parrott scratching his head. What do I do next? Small sits and watches to see what he's going to do. Jim Meadowcroft and Willie Thorne are going to tell us. And the way this is going, chaps, I think we're going to order up the takeaways and the camp beds. What do you think?
Thank you, David. And John Parrott potted an absolutely tremendous red to begin this break. He was in a lot of trouble. Great safety shot from Chris Small. He really did pull one out the fire.
John Parrott still struggling somewhat with his position this evening.
10.
In saying that, though, the break of 74 he had to level at 10-10 was really top draw. Well, that wiped
11.
its feet. But this is now a frame-winning chance for John Parrott. If he can get onto either one of the reds, either side of the black would then become available, and he really has worked really hard this evening. It hasn't been the prettiest of matches or prettiest of sessions this evening. We've had some really long frames. Good standard the last two frames, breaks of 84 and 54 from Small and 74 from Parrott. Now does he have the angle to pot this red and stun across and kiss into the other red
30.
to stay onto the black?
Yeah, well, he's a tall lad, John Parrott, but it's across the table, just adding the cue extension. Another good pot and great position. Got the cannon on the second red.
Just the two definite loose reds now, but that would put him into a nice 30-odd point lead.
22.
Could decide to stun up into the reds now, and knowing he's going to be onto the loose red. There's a little bit of value in trying to move one of those three reds just below the pink here. Yeah, it's just caught the outside of them though, so he has brought one more loose red out, and he can play this plain ball round the back of the
29.
black. Decided that was a little
30.
too risky. Played for the blue, and he's played it perfectly. Just one more little bit of work to do. Needs to get another red into the open. Not this time, play for the loose one, but after that. Now, is the pink available into the corner?
35.
Well, that's the last of the open reds, and this time he's going to have to play a little cannon into the right-hand red of those two that you see on your screen. Needs to hit that fairly full in the face.
Yes, it's very, very close, because if he just catches the front two reds before he makes cannon onto that outside red, he may not get onto any red, so this has got to be played perfectly. Yes, he's caught the other red first, and that was always going to be the problem. That's a bad shot.
43.
Well, he's built a nice 47-point lead. And we all know how good John Parrott is tactically. So you won't want to be opening too many of these three tight reds into open play. He'd like to put one on the cushion, but can't really play safe and put one on the cushion.
Yes, and he'd like to cover that single red just to the left.
John Parrott,
Well,
43.
he's left that sticking out a little, because this is virtually a shot to nothing with this small. That's the red just to the left of the pink. Well, he's not even taking that one on. That was a shot to nothing also, but quite some distance away from the pocket.
Yes, he didn't want the kiss there. Now, if this red will pot the top red of the three into the right-hand corner, he will definitely be playing in behind yellow and brown at the same time. But if it doesn't pot, the bottom one will pot. The bottom one of those three, that's the one he's playing.
One.
Well, Jim, perfect on the brown.
Yes, so often, Willie, when a player plays that type of shot, he usually finishes up on nothing. But because the brown's off its spot on the yellow, this time he's got a choice. He'll play the brown every time, but he's got to be precise with the cue ball now when coming back towards the reds.
John Parrott produced a fantastic break of 74 when being 54 points to 0 behind in the previous frame to level at 10-10. And he knows now that this is a half a chance for Chris Small. John Parrott led by 46 points as Chris Small came to the table. Could it be roles reversed and Chris Small clear to win?
6.
It appears that the red to the right of the pink is clearly available into the opposite corner to the one that's playing the black. So that'll be the big shot. In potting that red, he has to finish on a nice angle on the black to be able to drop onto this red, but oh dear. That is an unbelievable miss.
Wells attempting the positional side of the shot to get on that last red, and that really is the worst shot that Chris Small has played, certainly in the whole of this session, and probably the most important shot that he's missed.
Yes, John Parrott must be mightily relieved that Chris Small didn't clear from there, because he did look favourite. And now looks certain to lead 11-10.
Well, no heroics. John made absolutely certain, and he is again.
John Parrott, 9. And a frame.
So Chris Small gets up from his chair, but he has conceded, and it's John Parrott that goes into 11 frame to 10 lead.
11-10 now to John Parrott. As I said, this match produces a quarter-finalist. This is the section of draw where it fits in. Thank you. And as I say, it produces one. You've got to get 13 frames to get into the quarter-final. Parrott's got 11 at the moment. Whoever does win it will play either Ronnie O'Sullivan, the man who beat the qualifier Leo Fernandez, or the qualifier Joe Perry, who knocked out the legend Steve Davis. Let's have a quick look across onto the other table there with Ken Doherty and Nigel Bond, where Bond has picked up one more frame. He leads 9-6 now, but this is Bond in play, and a crucial part to this frame. 66-1. Players stopped on the other table for a moment, so you're not missing anything. But as I say, against the odds, Nigel Bond is up on Ken Doherty and missed the pink there. There's still a chance. No, They said, that's it. Nigel Bond. 10-6 at the end of tonight's session. And they play to a finish tomorrow afternoon. A great victory, and 3 more he needs tomorrow with 9 left in the match. And Ken Doherty, the former champion and last year's finalist, strongly fancied this year, is in real trouble. Back across the wall we will go. And John Parrott. Just gone into that lead of 11 frames to 10. Excellent break in the previous frame of 74. They'll just raise the wall now so that the crowd can see the match with the other one finished. This evening, well, as I say, it's been a titanic struggle all the way through. The first 2 this evening, which started off with Parrott 7-9 behind, took over an hour and a half. Parrott did win them both to draw level at 9-all, then Small ahead again at 10-9. They played just twice before. They've never anything between them. They've had 5-4 wins in their previous matches. They were both last year, one in the British Open and one in the Grand Prix. But they are the longest matches, the longest frames, the longest sessions, certainly, of this year's World Championship. And it was always on the cards that it was going to be. John Parrott said, don't expect anything quick. That's the way he plays. And all good credit to him. His second time he's been here. The last time was in his very first year as a pro, Chris Small. That was 7 years ago.
Thanks, John.
So, unobscured view for everybody here in the Crucible.
22nd frame,
night 7.
John Parrott to break.
Colin
Quiet,
Brinded
please.
sets it up. 22nd frame. This and 3 more possible in the match to a finish to produce the quarterfinals. And that little gap has probably given Jim and Willie a chance for a cup of tea.
Well, everything to play for now. John Parrott gone into the lead at quite a vital time. He looked as though he was slipping away in this match, but fought very hard, levelled the match, 9-all. But it's gone neck and neck all the way. Is it Chris Small's chance to take this frame to level again?
That has certainly been his problem pocket all evening, Chris Small. I don't think he's potted hardly any of the long shots into that corner pocket. And he may have left a red on for John. Very, very close to the cue ball is the white. The object ball, I should say, but we'll have to jab at this a little bit. Got to be very careful he doesn't play a push shot here.
One.
Yes, it's first red. No problem in getting onto the red to the right of your picture, but that's not going to be no good for black or pink. He could have played a perfect shot here. If he's got the gap here to get onto the red to the left of the black, it's a fantastic shot.
5.
Another half an inch, that would have been the shot of the night.
I'm not too sure whether or not John will play for a single red here, the one that you just mentioned, Willie. It's a little bit risky to pop the blue and go into the reds, but he's relied on getting on that single red to the left of the black, and it looks as though he's on it.
8.
Yes, key shot that was. One good pot here. Gives him a good chance to get a sizable lead in this frame. Well,
9.
honestly, I don't know how that's gone in. Just purely the pace. A fraction harder, wouldn't have been in.
17.
He'd ideally like to finish slightly lower on this red. Doesn't want to finish straight on the next red, because in playing the next red he can run through and just bring another couple of reds out into the open. But in saying that, he's gone far too high, so now going to have to leave angle on black to play into the pack.
24. $25.
Well, this time has the angle. Needs the reds to spread well.
$32.
Well, looks disappointed. Just looking at John's face there. Obviously very tight.
The red that's closest to the cue ball may be the one that he thinks is very close to being able to pot into the centre pocket. Won't do too much damage if he played it dead weight. Yes, that's about the pace of the shot. Now, has he potted it? Yes, great shot.
32. $39. $40.
Bad contact there on the red. Cue ball lifted from the bed of the table.
Quite clearly has two reds he can play onto here, but I feel if he plays the blue into the reds just to manoeuvre one, no, he's playing for a loose one. He's not going down on the cue ball. Maybe the top red to the right of the pink pots as well. That's probably why he's refused to go into the reds. He still has to get at least two of those red that's in the cluster after the two loose reds. And there may be a plant on at the bottom of the pack as well. That's probably the reason there's the choice of two plants available. And they both look on. Yeah, that's the reason that John didn't go into the reds. The plant's a certainty, but he needs to get a good position onto a colour. Can't miss the plant.
46.
It's just slowing the pace of the frame down a little now. He's accumulated 46 points and just coming to a vital time in the frame. He's just a few shots away now from going 12-10 ahead.
The standard actually has been very high in the last 3 or 4 frames. When we first joined the match at 9-7 this evening, John Parrott actually won a frame with a highest break of 12. It was awful in the middle part of the session, but the last 4 frames have been superb. Breaks of 84 and 54 from Chris Small, 74, 43, and this contribution from Parrott in this frame. So the standard has improved 100%.
Yes, John's just looking at that other plant, Willie, that we mentioned earlier on. Don't think this is quite as straightforward as the last one. May have to make this one.
60.
Well, we'll show you there. There's the 2 reds. Slightly set to the right-hand jaw, so shouldn't really be any problem for somebody of John Parrott's standard who knows all about reverse plants, but that's gone astray. So 61 in front, 67 on the table. Brown, put the brown or green on the side cushion, and hopefully should have done enough to certainly make it difficult for Chris Small to clear in one visit.
Parrott, 61.
Useful contribution then by John Parrott. Well, he needed that cue ball to stick behind the yellow because he's played a bad safety shot and left this red for John.
Truly amazing the difference we've seen in John Parrott in the last 3 or 4 frames. From not being able to pot a ball, he's just suddenly found a new lease of life and now has taken total control.
6.
When you consider he was 54 points behind and 10-9 behind, cleared with 74, and since then he's looked very sharp. Must have certainly enjoyed his interval cup of tea.
$40. 15. $21. 22. 28. 29. 34.
Chris Small has only scored some 16 points in these last 2 frames. Hasn't scored at all in this frame.
36. 36 and the frame.
So John Parrott just 1 frame away now, leading Chris Small 12 frames to 10.
John Parrott suddenly moving up again then. I think that break of 74 and then being let off the hook in the previous frames inspired him. 12-10, he says, well, I know it's possible. I should be beating this man, Chris Small. He's just popped out for the second there. And let's take a quick look ahead at what's coming up here tomorrow on day 8, the second Saturday. This is Embassy World Championship. John Higgins needing 1 more frame to beat Mark King. Remember, he did an 8-0. And then King did very well here this afternoon. Upped up with a break of 90 on, a couple of 103s. Took back 4 frames, but he's still 1 frame defeat with the 3rd session to be played here tomorrow morning. Tony Drago is 4 down to Matthew Stevens, the 21-year-old from Carmarthen. That is 2 more sessions. They're both played tomorrow in the morning and in the evening to a finish. As you've seen here, Ken Doherty, he's 4 down to Nigel Bond at 10-6, and that's played to a finish tomorrow afternoon. And then we've got Ronnie O'Sullivan and Joe Perry. Whoever wins that will play whoever wins the match we're watching tonight. John Parrott and Chris Small. Joe Perry, a man who knocked out Steve Davis, and Ronnie O'Sullivan coming through against Leo Fernandez, as I was saying. Not too happy with his game, but these days he normally says that. And then Mark Williams against the qualifier Nick Walker, starting out the first of their 3 sessions. So, John Parrott sitting there, composing himself. He's 1 frame away from a place in the quarterfinal against Chris Small.
Chris Small to break.
Colin Brinded to set it up, 23rd frame. There are a possible 3 frames left in the match. Parrott is 16th time here and a tremendous record. 2 finals and, of course, the champion of 91. And nearly every other time, quarterfinals and semi-finals. One of the great performers of the Embassy World Championship. 1 frame to make the quarterfinal again.
Well, no chances taken there at a pot. Safety shot that went wrong. Has he left anything for Chris Small? Chris Small requires all 3 remaining frames if he's to progress into the quarterfinals. Tall order.
One.
That's a clever shot from Chris Small, because he needs to get rid of the red just to the right of the black, and to get high enough for that red he had to play that cannon. Now Chris has been kept off the table for the last 2 frames, and this would take an extra special effort to make a sizable break from here.
$60. $70.
Just got to glance by that red at the bottom of the pack and make the cannon onto the loose red. And that would certainly leave him the red in the opposite corner. Oh, he's missed the cannon. Now that is purely because he's been kept off the table for a couple of frames, but in all fairness,
24.
that's a relatively straightforward shot that Chris has just missed, so he'd be very disappointed.
Chris Small, 24.
Parrott doesn't want to get involved in some tip-tapping in the pack here. He's trying to play safe off the edge of the pack. He certainly appears a different player in the last 3 or 4 frames.
Yes, he's certainly striking the ball much better, even though he did make a rather basic error at the start of this frame and left Chris Small with a chance to score 24 points. But I'm sure that John Parrott is feeling much more relaxed now. He's in the driving seat.
This is half a chance for John Parrott. He'll certainly be taking the long red on. And if he can knock it in, there's a couple of loose reds available at the edge of the pack. Big shot. I wonder if John Parrott's thinking of playing the risky slow pot into the middle pocket. He can't really leave anything apart from the red he's going to be hitting, because if he does play the slow pot into the middle, he wants to make sure he hits near jaw, not far jaw. That's what he's done, but he's hit far jaw. It's a poor shot.
Well, as Chris Small attempts this red, I'm sorry, we have been told we cannot stay with this very long match any longer. He misses the red. I'll make sure you hear a result here on BBC Two and later programmes. BBC One tomorrow, 11 o'clock with Dougie Donnelly. First call. On stage, please, Mr. Higgins.
It's big.